As we celebrate the Heroes Day today, we as the Tanzania Investment Center, we have gathered here to also celebrate two of our heroes. Number one is Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, who we consider a champion and a hero for investment in the country. And not only investment at large, but also investment specifically for Tanzanians, domestic investors, or what we call local investors as well. But our second type of hero that we are celebrating here in Dar es Salaam today are all local investors who have taken a chance in the bravery to make significant investments within their own country. So we have gathered here today to celebrate them, to appreciate them, and to also inform Her Excellency that we are very encouraged by her pioneering spirit of championing investment within our country. And we have gathered here with about 300 to 400 Tanzanian investors with two objectives. One is to inform them of the opportunities that the sixth phase administration has put before them. We are telling them of the incentives and opportunities that exist. We are telling them of the reforms of laws as well as practice that Tanzania Investment Center has done that makes it easy for them to invest. But the second thing is to listen. We have to listen to what they are experiencing on the ground if they are facing any challenges. And we have gathered together over 12 government agencies that are under one-stop facilitation center so that we can all listen together and answer any queries, any challenges, and troubleshoot. And our message to them is that we appreciate them and we are here to serve to make sure that they succeed, because in their success is where our country also finds success. The big message that we are hearing today is, being able to effectively have a one-stop facilitation center. So they would like to see that when they come to the Tanzania Investment Center, they don't have to go to any other office. And what we have done over the last year or so, we have strengthened the one-stop facilitation center. We have added officials from different ministries and departments to make sure that if someone comes in our office, they can get all solutions without having to go to any other government office. And that is the message that keeps coming from investors that we have met today in one way or another. And that is what we will keep improving at the Tanzania Investment Center. So what we have done with the Investment Act is lower the threshold that local investors need to have for them to qualify as investors. So previously it was $100,000, now it's $50,000. What that means is that it is 10 times easier for a Tanzanian to invest compared to a foreigner. A foreigner would need to have $500 million for them to invest, $500,000 for them to invest, but for a Tanzanian, only $50,000 worth of transaction will qualify you within TIC so that you can start investing. And what the law has done, and this is something that is quite brave from Her Excellency President Samia Suluhu Hassan, is that all the incentives are there at the beginning. When you're importing your machineries, when you're importing your cold storage vehicle, when you're importing your hose for truck, all these capital items are exempted with import duty to a tune of 75% and some items to a tune of 100%, so that you can start much more easily. And this is the boost that the government is providing to local investors as well. And we are appreciating seeing a lot of Tanzanians responding to the bravery of Her Excellency the President. So the local investors are growing. We are seeing a surge and an increase in numbers in an unprecedented scale, really. So in 2023-24 financial year, the Tanzania Investment Center registered 707 new investment projects. And out of these, 38% of them were Tanzanian owned. And this is up from about 10-15% a year or two before. So we're seeing a 106% increase in local investors. But that's not an interesting number. We are also seeing an increase in joint ventures. So about 20% of the projects that we registered are joint ventures. So if you include the Tanzanian-owned 38% and 20% of joint ventures, over 58% of projects, over 50% of projects that we registered at TIC, they have a hand of a Tanzanian within them. So Tanzanians are involved. And this is what Her Excellency wants Tanzanians to be owners of their own economy, to be part of the story of investment growth in their own country. And it's such a wonderful thing to see. And that's why we're saying, she's a very brave leader. We're very proud to have her, and we are more than committed as TIC to make sure that her vision of making sure Tanzanians enjoy their economy comes into fruition, and that is our job, and that is what we will do. So for the last year, 5 sectors were leading. So manufacturing by far was the first one, so we're seeing a lot of Tanzanians going into manufacturing sector. But logistics and transportation is the second sector. The third one is commercial real estate. The fourth is tourism, and the fifth is agriculture. So it's quite diverse, and in all these areas Tanzanians are going into. So we as Tanzania Investment Center, for the last year, we registered $6.5 billion worth of investment. And our target for the next year is $10 billion worth of investment. And most of it we expect it to come from Tanzanians. So we are doing domestic investment campaign as we're speaking. Our team is crisscrossing the country, 18 regions this time around. We did a similar campaign in January. We have opened offices in different regions. We have added our office in Arusha to make sure that we provide services much closer to where the investors are, especially Tanzanian investors. And it is our expectation that these kind of reforms and improvement in efficiency, and as well as technology improvements, will make it very easy for investors, Tanzanians, to enjoy the incentives that the president has provided for them, as well as make investment flourish in our country.
Yeah, my name is Amir Hamza. I'm the CEO and the chairman of my company, Amir Hamza Tanzania Limited. But I'm also the chairman of National Quality Association of Tanzania, and also the chairman of African Fine Coffees Association, which is an association of coffee stakeholders from 11 countries. Being an old, long-time investor in Tanzania, and being a Tanzanian, this is a major milestone, historic meeting for the investors in Tanzania, local investors in Tanzania, because local investors, we did not have the full knowledge of what was going on with the current changes after the introduction of the new laws regarding investment in Tanzania. So this meeting is a milestone meeting which is now clearly explaining to us the new regulations and the law which has been passed by the Parliament of Tanzania, and that now it looks like Tanzanian investors have got a big stepping stone to go forward, and will move forward. With this new 6-phase government, the government has done a fantastic job of putting in the regulations, safeguarding and encouraging the local investors from Tanzania.
And how much have you been enjoying the incentives provided by TIC?
When we started, the incentives were not very strong, and there was a time when, as a local investor, sometimes we felt that there was no need for any certificate of investment in Tanzania. But under these new regulations, it seems that there's a lot of investor incentive given to the investor in Tanzania, especially the local investor. And I feel that some of the regulations will be changed more to give us more incentives, especially for the regions like Kagera region, which is far from Dar es Salaam and which does not have a railway network, and which is in a difficult situation transport-wise and communication-wise. Due to the climatic conditions, even the electricity is not constant in our area. So I hope that the authorities will look into it, and the local investors in Kagera region and other regions of Tanzania which are backward will be given a special incentive program by local Tanzanians in order to lure them into investing more in Tanzania. I think we need an investment. We need an industrial bank in Tanzania, because we are lacking an industrial bank in Tanzania. There is no financial institution from the government which encourages and which supports the local industries in Tanzania. Of course, we have got institutions like TIB Development Bank, but those banks have to be really supported by the government, and they also need some policy reforms and changes in order to support the local industries in Tanzania. Because local industries, local investments from Tanzania feel a very big burden when they are competing with foreign investors, because foreign investors come in with easy money, that is affordable finance from their countries, and they also are given some guarantees from their countries, whereby when they arrive in our country, they can get finances from our local banks at a different rate compared to local Tanzanian investors. And the bankers, they know better that when they get a foreign investor, they feel that the risk is less there, while lending money to a local investor, they feel the risk is great. But I think with the new regulations and some changes which will be coming in place, and I believe and I trust that the government will look into this matter, that local investors will be given some priorities in getting finance and moving forward.